Dare I call it a log recording at this point? It's still the 21st of June, 2022. 12:57 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's still Tuesday. Weaver, John C., Roseman, California. What's going on, guys? Coming across the testimony of afflicted people regarding the January 6th and everything else around it. There was more collateral damage than other people care to admit. And the more people that they kept trying to put up on the stands in Congress, we're just getting a sampling of the conflict. There may be some people disagreeing or disputing or just plain out going insane over it and blaming those people for causing the disruptions left and right when actually it wasn't the case. They were telling the truth under oath to the Congress. They weren't lying their ass off. You just don't do that. You swear on something. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth because you're putting your own life, you're putting your own line, your own honor, your own word out there. And we're supposed to value each other's word. We're supposed to value each other's integrity. Well, if we swear and made a commitment to something and then break it, our integrity we just showed is for shit. Those who had supported and defended the Constitution of the United States, foreign against domestic, those who have made the oath possible, those who declared their oath of loyalty and put it on record, they had declared that they value this more than anything else. The oath to the Constitution of the United States is something you do not take lightly, neither is swearing on top of a religious artifact that we hold our own spiritual and personal beliefs to the highest regard and highest degree. Sometimes they conflict and other times they are in sync. When it comes down for telling the truth to Congress or to anybody else, when we have to swear an oath to it, sometimes people think that maybe they're lying their ass off. That's between that person and whatever they're swearing to make that determination. If they hold their own lives and that much in retrospect, I mean, if they hold their lives above everything else, then they do anything and everything else they can to keep it. But what's been happening right now is we are not an oath-keeping country. We are a broken down country. We had state officials coming up and telling people, to the Congress, to the world, that we had our own people out there trying to tear us apart because of one corrupt individual who wanted absolute power. He had tasted it and he wanted more ambrosia. He wanted to be a god. He's finding it hard to be a god at this point over here, but he's certainly pushing his ass on this one. I had to turn down the television. They're got the commentators doing their thing, going over testimonies and stuff, talking about it, giving their own opinions at this point. They were talking to an election worker, and I'm not going to say any further on this one except a representative of that workforce. It was powerful testimony. It was power in that testimony. Officials can be saying one thing about their family members, but when you start bringing the personal onto a congressional hearing and you happen to see the actual emotions in it, and then you actually hear it in other testimonies. Yeah. You talk about the trigger, you talk about the emotional tsunami. It was hitting me hard. You don't attack family members, but anything and everything to get absolute power, you're willing to destroy the world? The madness of the situation kind of reminds me too much of those damn shows I'd seen too long ago. Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, once predicting the gloom and doom of mankind and how the folly is. Imagine you have this one dweeb of a man who has this over dominating mother, or actually wife, doesn't like her husband to read. Mainly because it embarrasses the living crap out of her, and because he's useless to her, I guess, one way or another. And somehow he gets trapped into a vault, and then there's an explosion outside. It's supposed to be a nuclear explosion. What they had was millions of books around. Or maybe he was caught up in a deep part of a library. He comes out of the rubble and he sees all these books, and he's like, oh, great. All the time in the world. All the time in the world. He breaks his glasses, and then he's fucked because there's no optometrist around. Nobody can read his books, and he can't read his books without his sick glasses. Somehow there was supposed to be there was a message in there somewhere. But every time they kept showing about nuclear war, every time they kept showing about Armageddon or any interaction between hostile neighbors and stuff like that, neighbors turning against neighbors because of being prodded. I'm like, didn't the generations previous try to warn us about this stuff? My generation watched The Twilight Zone and The Outer Limits like crazy, and we got it. This new generation, or maybe right after my generation, just doesn't get it anymore. They don't want to get it. They think it's fallacy, they think it's fantasy, and they want the ambrosia. They want to taste the ambrosia. They want to know what the drink of the gods or the food of the gods is supposed to be. They want to become that powerful. That much of an ego, pride, and the id at work. So that's what I was saying every time I kept seeing this election going on, 2016 all the way through 2020, and then the 2020 election kicks in, and then here comes the screaming and yelling. Now I understand about screaming and yelling if the numbers were actually wrong and it goes all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has to make their judgment call at this point over here. I'd seen one official going after another official through the official courts, and then capitulating because he understands what kind of damage he might be doing to the country at this point over here if he continued to pursue it. There has to be other ways. And we had another president. But we didn't have the whining afterwards. We didn't have the constant lawsuits. We didn't have the constant skull thumping everywhere. Now we have it. Now we have it. Now we have their actual us versus them. And we don't even know what us versus them is anymore. We don't even know who is us and who is them. And by the way, who the hell are you? In watching the conversations between the news media and the congressional folks about what they think, what they feel, and what they're trying to be cagey and what they're trying to be careful on. They managed to talk about how dangerous it is for a high important office to reach down and pick on a lowly worker and making this person the scapegoat. And then you have the extremists going out left and right looking for this person or any which way, terrorize them just because. Just because they are conditioned for this. If this was still in the time of Donald Trump, I'm not saying if he actually won the election, but what I'm saying is if this was during the 4-year period and they were still trying to investigate, how would I feel if I got interrogated like this, if I got picked on? If Donald J. Trump was going to look at John C. Weaver, a schmuck, a schlub, a whale on the beach, marooned in a small town in California. Guy just trying to live life and dealing with everything else happening. And then he comes around, I'm Donald J. Trump, and this guy, this Weaver here, is bad for us. Now, I don't want to tell you, he's done this, we got the proof of this. That's exactly what he did. Not to me, but to a couple of ladies. And kept at it. Deflection. Ruin people's lives. He doesn't care. He's going to get what he gets. Okay, back to me. This guy has done heinous things. You know what I'd like to do? At that point, probably get on the YouTube if I actually had. And I'd say, Mr. President, go fuck yourself. First Amendment speech, asshole. Protected. No, you're not protected. You're an enemy. You're a traitor. You're everything I say that you are. You will suffer my wrath. Bring it on, fat boy. Oh, I'm sorry. You got to get other minions to do your own damn dirty work. I'm sorry. You have to keep your hands clean for your McDonald's, you germaphobe. Come on over. Got an apartment. I got people over here that don't exactly like me very much, but I got a few people that still like me very much. And in my current reality check right now as it is, getting past that scenario of the Donald J. Trump bullshit, I'd say I still got some people over here who don't like me, and I got other people who do like me because I treat them fairly. But if I'm going to have people coming and screaming and yelling at me, I'm going to be, okay, fine. What? You can't do that to me? I can do that to you, but you can't do that to me because I say so. Don't you know who I am? Yeah, you're a guy about to get into a car accident, probably with a train coming by this way. Bye. See, at my situation right now, I'm not worried about any retaliations. What are they going to do? Kill me? Be my guest. What are they going to do? Toss me out of the house? Be my guest. Are they going to do something mean and vile and say lots of ugly things? Be my guest. I'm going to jam up your email. Have fun. I'm going to keep haranguing you by phone. Be my guest. Is there anything else I could drive you crazy with? No. Go fuck yourselves. I have already gone through the worst I can ever go through. I have lost people I cared about a great deal. People who I loved all my life. So I don't care if they take me outside and kick the shit out of me. I'm already dead enough anyway inside. I don't care. It's the other person who actually has something to lose. They have to figure it. They have to be fearful about this damn shit. Because now you've got people going to be taking anything and everything away from them that they do care about that's still here in the living. That's why it was so imperative we had to show this to the public, to the world. We had to get this on record. We had to get this on record on what kind of an idiot, of an insane lunatic, power hungry to the max. I mean, there's nothing negative that you can't say about the guy that he's already exhibiting at this point over here. Delusions of godhood. He wants Olympus. He wants Zeus's job. He wants the power with the lightning bolts. And everybody shall worship Donald J. Trump. You know, we keep trying to push around the Bible a lot to other people left and right. We keep trying to say that there are things in the Bible that's supposed to be. Christ has a way of trying to deal and cope with the people. Back then, with the Roman Empire, who actually had an emperor, who actually had thousands of soldiers with swords ready to kill you. Just cross one of those guys and you're dead. Or you're locked up for whatever reason. Nobody ever liked the centurions in the first place, or the Roman soldiers, because they were the absolute police. It's like dealing with our 1930s up to the 1940s. Anybody remember the National Socialist Party? One particular country almost damn near became Roman Empire. Almost. Now, they didn't have a Jesus coming through there. If they'd had, Jesus would have already been smoked already. He would have been shot, killed, whatever. He would have been already put through the gas chamber, put through the fire, smoked out. Nobody would actually have an Easter sunrise service. They wouldn't know, they wouldn't care. He'd just be a record. Of course, would God be pissed off at that point? Maybe he was. Maybe that's why we sent in the United States military and everybody else trying to go after him. Back in 2000, we didn't have that. 2,000 years ago, we didn't have that kind of situation. To the beginning of the recorded history, or right that area anyway. It's hard to imagine if Christ was actually alive during our time right now. What the hell would he be saying? How are we treating each other at this point? Would he like to have an AR-15? Would he like to fire the damn thing? Is it right and legal and justice and in God's eyes and Christ's eyes and everything else that they viewed? The lamb shall lie down with the lion, a lion shall lie down with the lamb. And lamb is like lamb chops to the lion. He'll eat anything. Almost. Discriminatory. But the lamb? The lamb is like chewy. But in Christ and God's eyes, in their viewpoint of heaven, those conflicts are resolved peacefully. But what we're dealing with, what we're talking about over and over again on these news organizations talking about what the hell happened all this time of Trump's influence. We can try going as far as we can and try to say, as Star Trek's Horsford just said at Drumhead, we must seek out these enemies. We must. Why? You dare say that to the Empire? To us? We? Who's we? You? Well, Yeah, you guys are looking for the people to follow you and over the damn cliff again. Look, I already know Trump's an idiot. No, I'll take that back. He's not dangerous. He's a dangerous son of a bitch. Full blown, insane, dangerous son of a bitch. Who does not care who he harms as long as his family, as long as his way, as long as he is in charge. Even if it has to turn over or break down the country to do so, he will get his way. You know, we worry about Putin and going crazy over Ukraine because Putin decided to go crazy over Ukraine with all of his military at this point over here. What's the military for Trump? The extremists with their guns. What's the difference? They're both nuts. Except we tried to certify Trump, and Trump could never be certified enough. He bought off the doctors. What did he pay him with? What did he bribe him with? What did he threaten him with? So now we got him dealing with influencing Congress left and right, and everybody else. He wants his power back. These hearings are important because we need to see the damn thing going. We need to see what kind of damage we're dealing with here. We need to see how we can stop this damn shit. We have a problem. We can't stop it. We have to stop ourselves before we can stop this shit. And if we can't stop ourselves, say goodbye to everything else we love to know. Everything else good, gone, history. Literally. We have screwed up. We have destroyed our country. We have destroyed our way of life. We have taken the lies of everybody else and we believed them like crazy. Just because of one man's obsession became everyone else's insanity. Some kind of weird ass mental health bug passed on from person to person to person. We need to believe. We need this. We need this. It's like we've got a communal form of a colony being threatened here, and now the colony's going after something. Over what? No matter how many times I kept trying to figure this shit out, no matter how many times I kept trying to ask myself the questions, and to keep listening, and to keep trying to analyzing, it still doesn't make any sense. Except we are going off the damn cliff. We can't stop ourselves. We have to go off the cliff. We have dedicated ourselves to self-destruction. And we will do so. Because somebody else is pulling the damn strings on this damn shit. And we're not seeing who the real mastermind is. And if we dare mention his name, God knows what happens. So we have to be afraid of it. Yeah. They call him the Antichrist. Would Trump be qualified as the Antichrist? I'd consider him as the buffoon, the court jester. Where's the real mastermind we're looking for? Bannon? Too outlandish. Miller? Maybe. I wouldn't put it past that little twerp. He stays out of the limelight. But he's still egging on people left and right. Bannon is doing the outlandish thing. He's the lieutenants. He's part of the lieutenants at this point over here. Trump is supposed to be the commander, but he's basically the he's going to be the roadkill at this point. I hate to say it, but he's going to be run over by the other schmucks right behind him. Because this particular gravy train they've got on right now is a highway to hell. It's the railroad that's going to be running over them left and right. They got onto the damn thing, and now they can't even get off of it. So the politicians were too damn afraid, and if they do, they get run over by the tracks, by the wheels, by everything else. And innocent people get crushed to death on this one way or another. The people that they had on the congressional meetings, and now I'm talking about the officials, I'm talking about the civilians, they're going to be harangued because they were told by the assholes out there. How the hell did we get ourselves in this situation? I don't know. How do we get out of the situation? You tell me, we'll both know. But the only thing is I know of at this point over here, we have got to all pull together or else we are dead. And the great experiment becomes poof. I don't want to believe in that. I want to believe that we've got a chance at something. I want to think and believe and have faith and have hope. I want to think that we can do things, that they matter. They matter. We just have to be careful enough. We have to be smart enough. And we have to actually care enough to do the right thing, because if not, we're going to get buried alive on this shit.